Nicola Sturgeon's hopes of an independent Scotland would be crushed as she would immediately hand over power to the EU, a trade unionist told Express. The Scottish National Party (SNP) ramped up efforts this month after it announced the creation of an independence taskforce. This was against the backdrop of a biting pandemic, a looming double-dip recession, and a slow start to vaccinate the country against COVID-19. It is believed First Minister Sturgeon and the SNP are keen on using Holyrood's spring elections to gauge national sentiment for a UK breakaway. Prime Minister Boris Johnson has repeatedly refused to entertain the idea of a second independence referendum. Although it is understood that the SNP is preparing legal documents that would require Westminster to agree to a Section 30 request, and would transfer power to Holyrood for a referendum. Nigel Farage is hoping to roll out his Reform UK party in Scotland, spearheaded by ex-Tory MSP and one-time Scottish leader hopeful, Michelle Ballantyne. The pair will send candidates to stand in the May elections in the hope that it waters down support for Ms. Sturgeon. Many have noted that it will be difficult to make a case against independence should the SNP win an overwhelming majority in the elections. Yet it has been noted that Ms. Sturgeon's arguments for independence would immediately be cancelled should Scotland break from the UK. This is because the SNP has said it will take Scotland, which voted in favour of remaining a part of the EU, back into the Brussels bloc. Paul Embury, a trade unionist and Labour member, told Express.co.uk that Ms. Sturgeon's logic completely flies in the face of the nationalism she has stirred for the past 7 years, and almost makes her reasons for wanting to leave pointless. He said, "It's the policy on independence and the EU, they're completely inconsistent. They, the SNP, say they want to be independent from Britain because they think they'll be better off outside, yet the first thing they do is hop back into bed with the Europeans and trade their newly found sovereignty for membership of the EU club. That policy has always struck me as completely bizarre, and I don't think they're ever probed enough on it to explain that inconsistency. Democratic control, national self-determination and identity, and full political decision-making transferred to Holyrood are cited as some of the main reasons for independence. Scotland would, however, be expected to sacrifice many of these things should it rejoin the EU. It would likely have to give up its own currency for the euro." Ian Blackford, leader of the SNP in the House of Commons, suggested in 2019 that Scotland wouldn't have to adopt the euro.